David Schmoose, Executive Director of Christian Educators here. Are you a Christian educator in a public, charter, or private school? I taught in the public schools for 15 years, and if you're anything like me, maybe you have some questions or concerns, like, who will look out for me if I get in trouble? Or, how do I live out my faith legally? Or maybe you simply feel isolated or discouraged. If any of that sounds like you, I'd like to introduce you to Christian Educators Association International. We've been equipping, encouraging, and empowering educators like you for decades. I like to explain CEAI as having two wings, a protection wing and a ministry wing. Under what I call the protection wing, we do exactly that. We protect Christian educators in their profession. The scriptures tell us that we have an enemy who would like nothing more than to see us chased out of our schools. We can't let that happen. But each year we get hundreds of calls and emails from often panicked or at least very concerned educators who are facing difficult situations. In many ways, teaching is a very risky calling. For example, we have recently defended our members against false accusations of improperly helping students on state assessments. We've had several members accused of excessive physical contact in class discipline. And we also had a case where a teacher was in trouble simply because he emailed a student during a personal crisis to say that he would be praying for her. I am proud to say that we have been quite effective at protecting these members and hundreds more. Let me share briefly with you how we do that. First, we offer our members with coverage a $2 million professional liability policy which protects them in the case of lawsuits. Second, we also offer a job action protection benefit, which means that if any job action is brought against you, like attempted termination or suspension, you will have a local attorney to represent you. Our most popular benefit is our unlimited educational and legal consultation. That means that as a member with coverage, you can consult with our legal team on an unlimited basis. Regardless of whatever situation you face, we will walk through it with you, praying with you, and counseling you, all from a biblical worldview. To become a CEAI member with coverage and get these amazing protections, plus our magazine, free resources, and so much more, only costs about $20 a month. This represents significant savings above what you may already be paying for these protections. If you are not ready to become a member with coverage, consider our free movement membership as a way to be informed and supported in your calling. So that's the protection wing. Now, I'd love to tell you about the ministry wing of Christian Educators Association. As Christian educators, we have to walk a fine line. We can't turn our classes into church services, but we do have rights, and we don't have to lie about who we are to teach in the public schools. Our vision at CEAI is to see schools transformed with God's love and truth. Consider biblical heroes like Daniel, Joseph, and Esther. God used them as believers in secular government systems to radically transform their environments. We believe the best way to transform schools is through a transformed educator like you. Someone who is an effective ambassador for Christ, who doesn't leave Jesus in the parking lot, but carries the Holy Spirit onto our campuses. To raise up and equip transformed educators, we have developed 3 ministry initiatives. First, we offer a free 1-hour online webinar called Teach with Faith, Not Fear, which equips you to know what you can and cannot do legally on a public school campus. After watching Teach with Faith at CEAI.org, you will know the 2 key laws every Christian educator must know and understand practically how they apply to your teaching. A second ministry initiative of CEAI is our Lift America outreach. LIFT, which stands for Lasting Impact Fellowship for Teachers, is growing rapidly. LIFT gatherings bring together often hundreds of educators across entire cities for the purpose of equipping and inspiring them to take Jesus into their schools and meet together on campus in educator fellowship groups. We are seeing educators emboldened to abide, listen, and follow the voice of the Spirit to extend God's kingdom in ways we could never have predicted. My favorite story from our LIFT outreach is from an elementary school teacher who learned at a LIFT gathering that she could legally teach an after-school Good News Club on her campus. She was surprised to very quickly have between 75 to 100 students legally hearing the gospel at her public school each week. Third, Our Daniel Project includes weekend conferences and a more extended summer training designed to raise up missional educational leaders who are transforming schools all over the nation. We have seen entire careers turned around and redeemed through the Daniel Project, delivered from discouragement to hope. Daniel participants return to their schools with specific plans of action they have developed to partner with God to stand in the gap for their schools. I remember my first Daniel weekend. I had come in a bit discouraged that I couldn't seem to find Christian educators who really wanted to see ministry happen. At the Daniel weekend, I found my tribe, a supportive community of like-minded Christian educators who were equipped to pray and work for God's purposes in their schools. Whether it's the online webinar Teach with Faith, a Lift America event, or a Daniel weekend, would you partner with us to raise up Daniels, Josephs, and Esthers in our schools, educators who have been put there by God for such a time as this? Please check out our website and events calendar to see how you can get involved. And because these ministry initiatives are not paid for by membership dues and are offered for free or very low cost to educators, we are also asking God to raise up ministry partners and sponsors to pray and financially support them. If God is leading you to be a part of these efforts, we would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for what you are already doing in our schools. It is our great privilege to serve you.